One Piece chapter 1170 titled Contradictions is out, bro. Like this chapter is so heartbreaking, bro. Like as a power skill, but as a power scaling wise, bro, this is like this has like broke the series, bro. Like in a power, like in terms of like power scaling in this show, like this is insane. What Loki does at the end of this chapter, and it will just blow your mind, bro. Like you won't understand like where like this puts the power scaling in the show, but you'll get it is so crazy. The agendas are gonna be running wild over the next few weeks when with the introduction of Loki's abilities. Like this is insane, bro. Like bro, this chapter is in a way like really heartbreaking with the to see the end of King Harald and how like Loki was forced to like kill his father. Like this was so heartbreaking to watch, and we also saw like Shanks and Gaban in action against Harald, bro. Overall, one of the most best flashback, bro, like in One Piece, bro. Like, and yeah, by the end of the chapter it looks like it's like flashback has almost come to an end. So bro, like I'm super hyped, bro. Anyway guys, without further ado, let's go to the chapter. In the cover request we see Jinbei working as a car for a eel train, and we see Luffy chomping on food, and we see Zoro, Sanji, Robin. They're all like in a mini version, and Jinbei is like a clerk for an eel train. So it's cool to see this cover request, and yeah, bro, like I'm still waiting for the next like cover story. I'm super hyped for the next one because I think it's gonna focus on the egghead, like aftermath of the egghead incident. Like based on like I think most probably like Vegapunks. Maybe we'll focus on York or some like yeah, most probably we'll follow on with York and or with Edison. The one the Vegapunk which like flew away with the punk records. Yeah, maybe we would like we're going to focus on that, but I'm super like hyped for the next cover story, and where because those cover story they're like the canon for the canon to the main story, and they are very important. So yeah, I'm waiting for that one, but it's in the meantime it's cool to see this cover request. We're to see the different like environment and like different situation for the Straw Hats. Anyway guys, without further ado, let's go over the actual chapter. The chapter starts exactly where we left off in the last one, and we're still continuing with the King Harald incident and what actually happened on that day 14 years ago in the Horus Castle. We see like Loki. We ended up in the last chapter where like Loki came face to face with the legendary Delphoid, and he finally entered the room, and where he saw the legendary Delphoid treasure chest. But when he went to like eat the fruit, the hammer. There was a hammer like behind the treasure chest, which suddenly like flew towards him and tried to like attack him. And Loki was like shocked, like what's going on? And Loki is like gets up, and the hammer like misses him and hits the pillar and breaks the surroundings of the castle. And Loki like gets up from the floor, and he's like furious, like someone that he thinks that someone like threw the hammer from inside the room, like there is someone else inside the room. He thinks someone that threw the hammer towards him. He doesn't yet know that the hammer is actually sentient. Like it actually has a devil fruit, but it's insane. Later in the chat we'll find it out, but bro, like this is insane. And but this is fun to see. Like Loki is like wondering like what's going on this, and he like goes in towards the chamber, towards the legendary devil fruit, and he sees the treasure chest. But then he sounds a chitter sound from behind him, from the hammer, and we then see the hammer is actually Loki then turns around, and he sees that it's actually the hammer that's making the sound, and there's also a squeak sound like a rat, like squirrel type, and he sees that the hammer like is breaking the ground, like it's so heavy. Like Loki is like surprised how strong and heavy this hammer is, and he's wondering like what is going on. Like he doesn't even understand. Like this castle is like falling apart, and Loki is like barely holding on to the ground. And we then cut away to where King Harald is, and we see that he's surrounded by all his guards, and he's wondering, bro, this is weird, man. Like King Harald is talking, but his mouth is like shut up. Like it feels more like an inner monologue, but it's actually he's like speaking like to full out. Like it's insane. Harold is saying that he refers are futile. He says that many generations of Elbaph tried to like eat the devil fruit, but no one has been able to do it because no one could actually eat it because of the guardian, the The hammer is like the guardian of the legendary devil fruit, and it has not allowed any of the Elbaph like lineage for the past like maybe like 1,000 years to like eat that devil fruit. You know, like, it's insane. And we see that uh, King Harald like finally like claiming that with his current strength, like he will be able to like eat the fruit now, and he the King Harald is like more like in the state where Dory and Broggy are right now when they were Dominic President Elbaph. You know, like they're like they're under Emu's control, but they're like they're also like under the they're like talking like from their own by self. You know, like Emu is not actually like speaking these things. Like Harold is like talking, telling these things by himself. So yeah, this is really interesting to see. Like because when Zebek was like Dummy reversed it, he was not talking, like he was talking with Zebek, he was talking with Roger and Garp through the voice of all things. But here King Harald is he's actually under control, like he's speaking out like clearly, but he's like he's himself, like it's like really like it's like he's like brainwashed and hypnotized like type of shit, you know. It's very similar to that. And we then see that like Ragnir is like chasing Loki around and Loki is like trying to escape it. And King Hell says that no one had Ragnir has been guarding the treasure devil fruit for the centuries, and Ragnir has not seen anyone worthy enough to like eat the fruit. And we then see that Harold claiming that with his current strength he can eat the devil fruit, and because he thinks that with Emu's like buffed up strength, he thinks he's worthy to eat the fruit now. But we then see that the two we then see axes and sword like coated with conqueror's haki like charging towards Harold, and we see Shanks and Gaban landing a hit on Harold, and they kind of it seems like they take off Harold's legs, and Harold is like feeling the pain. You can see that, and Gaban tells that those wounds are already causing him a lot of pain, and but Harold like is like still regenerating now, and Gaban then tells that to their Gaban then explains that Conqueror's Haki is the key to damaging the regeneration and the immortality of the Holy Knights, and the way is to like just beat up like someone with immortality and regeneration with like Conqueror's Haki. You just pour all your Conqueror's Haki and you just continue beating them up until they cannot like regenerate anymore, you know, like because the Conqueror's Haki infused attacks like causes a lot of pain to the Holy Knights, and it like slowly like slows down the regeneration, you know, and that's how like they cannot like fight anymore, like they slowly like give up, and that's the like the solution for now. It's crazy. Like I thought there would be something else we will get to, like, you know, like there will be like some other solution to damaging the Holy Knights, but it seems like for now it's the Conqueror's Haki. Like Oda is saying that like you just hit like as hard as you can and you just keep on hitting them until they're like they can no longer regenerate, something like that. So we then see that King Harold acknowledging Gaban, and Harold is like furious that Gaban is trying to get in his way, and Gaban tells that we can't let you running wild now that you have gone crazy. Then Shanks asks Gaban like how does Gaban know all about this, you know, like how does Gaban know about the weakness of the Holy Knights. Gaban then tells that the Holy Knights used to like attack the Roger Pirates a lot after the God Valley incident to try and take Shanks back. So yeah, it's insane. Like Garling actually tried to like get back his son, and Garling used to send the Holy Knights to like pursue the Roger Pirates to take Shanks back. It's insane that. But Gaban then continues saying that the Roger Pirates like defeated the Holy Knights every single time they tried to take Shanks back, and they like sliced them up and cut them apart. So bro, like the Holy Knights, bro, they're never catching an W after this, bro. Like they all, whenever they're in action, like they're taking L's after L's, and we see a panel of all the four Holy Knights and the Roger like approaching the Roger Pirates Oro Jackson, and they say that red-haired boy, we know you have him. He looks just like our captain's son. Hand him over. So yeah, I think Garling didn't actually like go and fight the Roger Pirates. Like he was sending his minions like to like fight the Roger Pirates, you know. And we see, bro, like I saw some memes saying, I saw some on Twitter, on X, that one of the Holy Knights looks just like Shanks, just like Mihawk, bro. Like so, bro, like just keep an eye on that, bro, because yeah, it does look like Mihawk, and it has a long sword behind his back. Yeah. and he has a long sword as well. So keep an eye on that, bro, because it's interesting. Because I think Mihawk is actually a Hollow Knight, but I think Oda will reveal this like later on. You know, like Mihawk definitely has some connection with Emo. And anyways, we continue with the chapter, and we see that Shanks like tells Gaban that Shanks heard about this story from Summers as well, and we see that Gaban says that he was like surprised to see like strong celestial dragons. Like he used to think that celestial dragons were all like weak trash, you know, but he was actually surprised to see that there were some who were actually like a bit strong, you know, like the Holy Knights. And Shanks then says that those guys consider themselves divine, living sedentary lives, keeping well clear of our world. And Shanks then tells that it disgusts me to think that I could have lived like them. So bro, like this is great to see, bro. Like this like officially ends all the Shanks rat allegations, because like Shanks clearly says that he hates that kind of life. And bro, the Roger Pirates are Shanks' true family, bro. Like you just cannot deny it anymore, bro. Shanks has a special bond with all the Roger Pirates, and Shanks sees Rayleigh, Gaban, and Roger as his father figures and not Garling, bro. Like so it's obvious, bro, who Shanks is lying with. You know, Shanks is like following Roger's will. And we see that Gaban saying that you can call that fate that you turned out like that. We then see King Harold like charging towards Shanks and Gaban, and Gaban and Shanks like avoid Harold's attack, and Shanks flies into the air, and Gaban like charges towards Harold, and Shanks is like shouting towards Gaban saying that I want to save Harold, and Gaban then replies to Shanks that you're the one who told me that it is hopeless once you become a knight of God. Then like Shanks and Gaban then are like talking to themselves, and they say that their best chance right now would be Loki, because they're unable to like damage King Harold, you know, like right now like their main goal will be to like slow down Harold and like buy some time for Loki to come back and like defeat King Harold, you know. So that's their plan, because Gaban and Shanks, they look like they tried their best, bro. Like yeah, you can see, bro, like I'm like super like pumped to see like Shanks in action here. Like it's so good to see, like especially two-arm Shanks, bro. Like we never got to see like Shanks two-arm in action, bro. It's so insane to see this thing, you know. Like I've waited years to like see this panel. We're so hyped to see like two Roger Pirates in action, Shanks and Gaban, both of their fighting styles. It's cool, bro. Like it's peak, bro. I love it, bro. And we then continue with it, and we cut away to Loki and Ragnir, and we see that Loki is talking to Ragnir, and he's like still like trying to figure out like what's the deal with this hammer, bro. Why is it like moving on its own and trying to like attack me and preventing me from eating the devil fruit? And Loki says that Loki like slowly understands that it's like basically the national treasure's guardian, but he's wondering like how can this move, bro? Like what's the mystery? Then the hammer like slowly like Hammer then suddenly charges towards Loki to attack him, and Loki also like attacks him with his hammer, and they have a crazy clash, the Ragnir and Loki's hammer. And Loki is like infusing with Conqueror's haki, bro. Like Loki at this point doesn't even realize he has Conqueror's haki, so it's insane, bro. Like this, bro, like this is where Loki upscale begins from in this chapter, where Loki like infuses with Conqueror's haki into his hammer and hits Ragnir, and they have a massive clash from which Loki's hammer like breaks apart, and Ragnir like tosses away to the other side, and we see that Ragnir switches back into a squirrel form, bro. Like it's insane, bro. Like it's crazy. So this means that Ragnir actually like ate devil fruit. Like this is like the hammer was the one that actually ate a squirrel, most likely ate a squirrel devil fruit, which like, and it like turned back into his Zoan form now, you know. But it's very confusing here right now, because after like Loki hits the hammer turns back into the squirrel form. So this implies that this squirrel form is like the base form. So does this mean the squirrel ate the hammer fruit, and the hammer is like the Zoan form, or like the because we know the inanimate objects can eat devil fruits, as we saw in Annie's lobby, or does it actually mean like the hammer ate a squirrel devil fruit? So I'm a bit confused here, but bro, like this is crazy to see this reveal, man. Like so Loki like wields a weapon which has a devil fruit. So bro, like This is insane, bro. At the end of this chapter, we'll also find out that Loki like ends up eating the legendary Delph fruit as well. So, bro, like this is crazy, man. Loki is busted, bro. Like I thought that the Elbaph fruit actually got stolen, but no. Loki managed to like eat the Delph fruit, and he also like manages to like tame Ragnir and uses it, bro. Like so, he basically has two Delph fruits, advanced conqueror's haki, and bro, like what not, man? This guy is so busted, bro. Like I don't know, man. Like Loki has easily like skyrocketed into one of the top tiers in the verse in this chapter, you know. And we can cut away to King Harald's like rampage, and he's like continuing to like cut apart all the giant cards. And we see Shanks and Gaban wondering like how to end this fight, and Gaban says that he has never fought one who has conqueror's haki too, you know. So this says that the Holy Knights that attacked the Roger Pirates trying to kidnap Shanks, like they didn't have conqueror's haki, but this King Harald has conqueror's haki. So Gaban is like struggling to figure out like how to actually like bypass the conqueror's haki barrier, you know. And we then see that Jarl is lying on the floor, and he is commanding the soldiers to like stop Harald to not to allow him to get to the Delph fruit. And we then see like King Harald like continuing his rampage, cutting apart all the giant soldiers in his way. And we then see cut back to Loki again, Loki and Ragnir, and Ragnir is like finally accepted Loki to eat the Delph fruit, and Loki like Loki finally like gets his hand on the Delph fruit and he eats it, bro. Like this is insane, bro. And we see his transformation, but unfortunately we don't see his full like transformation revealed in this chapter. We only see his silhouette, but we can see that his hands like turn into claws, and he has like crazy roar, and we see a big silhouette, and all the soldiers are like shocked to see Loki's like Zoan form, you know. Bro, like, and we see Ragnir like is happy, you know. Ragnir is like totally in his squirrel form now. Bro, Ragnir is so cute, man. I'm not gonna lie, the squirrel is so cute. I just wanna hug it, bro. Like it's insane. We then see like Loki's Zoan form like running across this castle to get back to King Harald, bro. Like this is insane, bro. Like from the looks of it, this looks like a wolf, bro. Like four-legged animal, bro. Like because it's only shadows, you know. We're only seeing the silhouette, bro. Like so it's weird to make out this actually is, but yeah. And about the squirrel, this I saw on X that this is from the Norse mythology. There is like a ratatusker who like goes up and down the Yggdrasil tree bringing news to all the layers, you know. So yeah, this audio is taking inspiration from that, and this is like the ratatusker, you know. And based on that, like this Loki's Delph fruit might be something related to Fenrir or Neat Dog, you know. So people were theorizing that. So yeah, man, I'm super hyped to see Loki's actual like Delph fruit reveal. And we then cut away to the scene where like Loki enters the room where King Harald is, and King Harald is like finally like noticed Loki, and he is like wondering like, did you eat it, Loki? And he tells Loki to show me its like the Delph fruit's legendary power, and he attacks Loki. Loki is right now in his own form, but we're actually not seeing it. But Loki counters King Harald and smashes him into a wall, and Harold's face is like left side of the face is completely blown apart, and he is like slowly regenerating again. And Loki continues like beating him up, and we don't see his own form, but Harold we can see, bro, he's struggling, bro. Like King Harald is like slowly like he's not actually fighting back, like, you know, like, but Loki is just beating him up, and it's insane, bro. Like, and in a crazy like detailed shadow we see Loki's like Zoan form, but bro, like it looks like two horns, and it looks very much like a wolf, you know. It might be a Fenrir Delph fruit, you know, like mythical mortal Fenrir, you know, the Elbaph legendary Delph fruit. So yeah, bro, like this ends the theory that the Nika fruit was a legendary Delph fruit, and the Elbaph legendary Delph fruit is different. So it's insane to see this, bro. Like I can't wait to see the full like Loki's Zoan Delph fruit reveal. Anyways, we see that Loki like again like returns back to his like base form, and we see Loki like charging up his Loki right now is using his Ragnir, you know, like Loki has finally like tamed that squirrel, and he's using the Ragnir as his own hammer, because his previous hammer has broken. And from this is the first day like he used Ragnir, bro. This is crazy. Like this is Loki's day one of using his devil fruit and Ragnir, and he straight up like transformed into his own form and was able to manage tame Ragnir, bro. This is crazy, bro. Like, and we then see like Loki like charging up his Ragnir hammer with Conqueror's coating, and we see Harald is just like standing and he's acknowledging Loki that I knew it, Loki. You have the blood of a conqueror flowing inside you. And we then see like King Harald has like come back to his consciousness after all the beat down from Loki, and Loki is like saying, hey, you have come back to your senses then. Harald then says that it won't last. Don't drop your guard. Look around. I am beyond redemption anyway. Like he's implying how many giants he has killed, and Loki is like crying almost like in tears, like you are being controlled. I don't want to hit you. Like Loki was about to hit King Harald, and then stopped, but Harald like warns him that this won't last long. Like Emu will again take back control over his mind, and this is like sad to see. Like Loki didn't want to kill his father, but at the end of the day, like no matter how bad of a father Harald was, Harald was Loki's father, bro. Like, and Loki like didn't want to kill his father, so this Loki is like so like heartbroken to like end his father, and he's so reluctant to do it. And we then see that Harald like imparting his final words to Loki and says that you have what it takes to lead Elbaph well. Try to get along well with your brother. And Loki says, and we also see a quick short panel of Shanks and Gaban lying on the floor, and Shanks is like sitting with his hands in head, and like Shanks is like, I don't know, man. Did Shanks and Gaban like get like really, maybe they got a crazy beat down and they're like now sitting on the ground and watching the event unfold, bro. But I don't understand like why they never told anyone like what actually happened. Like maybe Shanks, Gaban and Loki are like conspiring for a bigger plan, like they decided to like to make Loki take all the blame for the betterment of Elbaph. Maybe they had some other reason. So but I want to see what made them like, what forced them to like keep quiet about this day, like what actually happened, like why they never like told anyone about how Loki actually had to like was forced to like end his own father, and he didn't end his father for the devil fruit and all the rumors that the giants are spreading around. So yeah, bro, I'm curious to see what goes on with that, bro. But it's insane to see like Shanks, like this is probably the first time we've seen Shanks like not in control of a situation, like bro, like this is crazy. Like even two advanced conquerors haki users like Shanks and Gaban were unable to take down King Harald, like a minion of Emu, bro. Like it's insane, bro. Like King Harald controlled by Emu is most likely on par with Tommy Reversed Rock. So bro, like this is crazy, bro. Like Shanks, but I do think this current Shanks is not in his prime, so it does make sense. But this is his first such encounter as an immortal like regeneration holy knight, and we see like Gerald lying on the ground. I think at this point I think Gerald like lost consciousness and he didn't see what actually happened. So, and after that he lost all his memories, and bro, like this is insane. And Loki and anyways, we then cut away to like Loki and Harald's like final conversation, and Loki's like telling his father like, having your own son take your life, what kind of a father does that? And Harald like says that one last thing, I almost forgot, I wanted to thank you about Ada. Harald says that he knew of that, how much he is happy to see how much like Loki cared about Ada, and he knew why Loki actually like destroyed and burned down the alcohol village. But Harald was very touched by it, and touched by how much Loki cared for her, and Loki is like shocked to find out that Harald actually knew about that. So yeah, it's great to see this father-son bond, that King Harald actually knew like Loki did it for Ada, but he still like, it's bro, like this is just tragic, man. And as King Harald continues with his speech saying that, hurry, it's taking me over again. Loki then continues saying that, I will never forgive you for making me do all the dirty work. And then Harald then says, I love you too. And we then see like Loki, a massive bolt of lightning crashed down on Oda's castle as Loki like strikes King Harald with his Ragnir hammer, and we see like King Harald like breaking into pieces, bro. It's crazy the impact of this attack, bro. Like we see Conqueror's haki lightning like going haywire, and we also see the Ragnir lightning from the hammer, you know. So this is insane, bro. Like, do you realize what Loki did here? Loki not only used advanced Conqueror's haki here, he used his buffed up Delfoot ability. He also used the Delfoot ability of his weapon. I think the Thunderbolt is coming from the Ragnir. You know, Ragnir has the Thunder ability, and which summons lightning bolts. And we see a lightning bolt strike King Harald at the same time as Loki impacts him with the Ragnir hammer, hits him with the Ragnir hammer. And we see crazy amount of like Conqueror's haki black lightning like sprawling out from the impact, bro. Like this is insane, this panel. And we see King Harald like disintegrating into pieces, bro. Like this panel, bro, like it's insane. We then end the chapter with like Loki crying in tears with snort coming out of his nose, and we see a little flashback of like King Harald and Loki when Loki was born, like, and we see like Harald like having an inner final words to Loki, saying that the only thing that really matters is securing Elbaph's future. Only memories last. Ended the chapter. Peak, bro. Like, oh my god, man. One of the best One Piece chapter, bro. I think this is where the flashback ends, and yeah, bro. Like, I'm super like. I cannot like put into words like how insane this flashback has been so far, you know, like. And to end it off this way, bro, this is peak, bro. Like, I can't wait for the present day Elbaph, you know, to see Loki's full zone form and what Loki can actually do. Like, remember, this Loki was not, this was only his day one, you know, and he goes on to like rampage the seas for 8 more years before he got like supposedly captured by Shanks. And we also need to see what happened with Loki and Shanks after this, you know. So I presume there is like one more chapter of this flashback, and we then cut back to the present day Elbaph and the fight with Emu and the whole next begin, you know. So bro, this next 2025 of One Piece has been crazy, and the next year, starting next year, is gonna be outrageous, bro. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen like Oda's message from Jump Festa, where he said that after Elbaph arc, we'll go to the island where only the Pirate King has reached, which implies that, yeah, we will most likely like go to like Lodestar Island or even Laughdale, you know, like, because Oda said that we will also meet the man marked by man with the burn scar, you know. So this implies that by the end of this year, and most likely in Elbaph, we will meet the man with the burn scar and get our hands on the final road poneglyph, which will take us to Laughdale and where the One Piece is, bro. Like, this is super hype, bro. Like, I can't like put into words like how hyped I am for the upcoming year of One Piece, bro. Like, we're truly in the end game, bro. Like, this is getting super hype, bro. Like, yeah, man. Like, that's the end of the chapter, and yeah, I think we have to wait 2 weeks for the next one, because this chapter was supposedly to come out next week. You know, this official chapter will come out next week, and after that we then have a chapter chapter 1171, you know. So yeah, we have to wait like 2 more weeks, because this chapter came a week early because of the early leaks and spoilers, you know, because this break was not from Oda himself but from Shonen Jump. Oda actually had a chapter ready to release, and there was no break. So yeah, we got the chapter early because of that, bro. Like, that's it for the chapter. And guys, let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this chapter. And thank you for watching my videos, and I love you all, bro. Peace out.